Welcome to The Big Story. I'm Shawn Yao.
I'm Pauline Verzosa.
And I'm Riza Diaz.
Tonight's big stories, another day, another case has been filed against dismissed Bamban Mayor Alice Guo and her so-called associates, this time for money laundering. But while charges against Guo keep on coming, she remains at large, with her exact location still unknown.
And the manhunt for Pastor Apollo Kibuloy and his co-accused enters its 8th day in 4 hours, and still no sighting nor sign of the fugitive preacher. We are keeping an ear to the ground with updates from our mobile journalist Merimon Reyes and Brigadier General Rodrigo Alba of the task force searching for Kibuloy.
And what will happen to our national ID cards? The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has terminated its contract with the cards supplier for failing to deliver to its commitment of the deal.
Top story for the day, dismissed Bamban Mayor Alice Guo is facing another complaint. Billions of pesos in anomalous transactions were discovered in her bank accounts, supposedly funds that came from scams and were later on funneled into operations of the raided Pogo hub in Bamban, Tarlac.
Now, multiple counts of money laundering charges have been filed against Guo and 35 of her so-called associates.
And then there's the freeze order in Guo's bank accounts and assets, which have been extended to next year. Camille Samonte has the big story.
The Anti-Money Laundering Council, together with the NBI and the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, were in full force at the Justice Department today. They filed a new complaint against dismissed Bamban Mayor Alice Guo and 35 other respondents, this time for money laundering, 87 counts in total. AMLAC's investigation found that approximately 7 billion pesos in illicit funds passed through Alice Guo's bank account between 2019 and 2024. The funds were allegedly moved via various shell companies linked to the accounts. Following the money trail, all led to Balita Land Development Incorporated, the owner of the Pogo hub in Bamban. This was supposed to be the money that sustained the operations of the raided Pogo.
She used several entities in transferring her money. It went to an entity. Ultimately, it ended up with Baofu to pay, among others, electric bills.
According to AMLAC, they discovered that the money came from various scamming activities directly carried out by the Pogo in Bamban.
Wala pong ibang pwedeng maging panggalingan ng pera kung hindi sa scamming operation po. So, ang ating predicate offense po na tinatawag po natin under the AMLA, ito po ay nagsimula sa qualified trafficking in persons at ito po ay kinumit o ginawa para po mag-scam. Ito naman po ang business model ng mga Pogo to conduct scamming operation po.
Apart from Alice Guo, the complaint also implicates her alleged sister Sheila and Cassandra Lee Ong, a representative of Lucky South 99. In a congressional hearing, Ong had previously denied being business partners with Alice. But the PAOK is not buying that, saying they have established a connection between the two Pogos in Bamban and Porac, Pampanga.
The money that basically was used to build Sunyuan from late 2029 to early 2021 was actually emanating from the scamming proceeds of the Lucky South 99. Hence, our theory was, our evidence would point to they're interlinked. It was able to generate pera. Eventually, nakita natin pumapasok doon sa ilang personalities pa na involved doon naman sa Sunyuan.
In total, authorities discovered 78 anomalous transactions. Also being sued are the incorporators and shareholders of Baofu, as well as two former Pogos, Hongsheng and Zunyuan Technology Incorporated. Meantime, AMLAC has extended the freeze order on Alice Guo's bank accounts and assets until January 2025. They also plan to file additional complaints as more anomalous financial transactions between Guo and the related Pogo companies start to surface. The DOJ DOJ will also investigate whether banks failed to report the anomalous funds that passed through them. Currently, Go is still at large and is reportedly in Jakarta as per monitoring of Indonesian authorities. To facilitate her arrest, the DOJ has requested that the former mayor be placed on Interpol's Red Notice list. Go's lawyer, Attorney Stephen David, insists that his client is still in the country. He is also standing by the testimony of Attorney Elmer Galicia, who allegedly notarized Go's affidavit and met with Alice Go in person. For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Okay, so kitang-kita nga natin na yung updates today. Matagal na kasi just to put everything in context, it's been a long time that lawmakers have been demanding the AMLAC to already file cases. They were like, ang tagal na namin hinihingi, kailan ba magkakaroon? And of course, as the hearings heated up, nung naibalik na si Sheila Go, pati si Cassandra Ong, lalo pang uminit yung request ng mga lawmakers na mag-file na ng kaso. So today, there we have it. As the report said, multiple cases of money laundering have been filed against Alice Go, her supposed or alleged cohorts in the Bamban Pogo hub.
35 individuals, but of course the big question is, where is Alice Go
Where
at
is
this
she in
point?
Wesley?
And
And Wesley Go, her brother, they're still being...
And there's still so many questions, right? Every time we have a hearing, we just have more questions after kaysa sa answers. Right? So, ang last update, according to Winston Casio of PAOK, she is in Indonesia, in Jakarta specifically. So, from Batam, she made her way somehow to Jakarta.
And Indonesian reports are saying that there seemed to be no movement of her trying to get out of
to leave
Indonesia
the country.
yet.
So, in case you didn't know, Indonesia is a massive archipelago with over 10,000 islands. It is the Southeast Asian country that's actually bigger than the Philippines and has 3,000 plus more islands than us. So it's going to be quite
hard,
It's going to be quite hard also. If we have a lot of backdoors, then I'm sure maybe Indonesia does have ways out also. Marami din kailangang bantayan. And so far though, according to the immigration officials of Indonesia, there has been no exit for Alice Go. As for Wesley Go, we have no idea where he is at the moment.
Well, now, while authorities are going after personalities with alleged links to illegal pogo, PAGCOR, for its part, has shortened the validity of work permits issued to both Filipino and foreign offshore gaming employees. For Filipinos, the original validity of POGO work permits is 3 years from issuance, but now it's been shortened to quote until December 31st of this year. Now, the same goes for foreign POGO workers. Their permit lapses by the end of the year or until their work visa is no longer valid, whichever comes first. This, of course, comes on the heels of the Marcos government's ban on POGOs. Recall that the president gave PAGCOR until the end of the year to wind down and cease the operations of all POGOs in the country. Before this, the Bureau of Immigration also started downgrading the working visas of POGO employees to tourist visas.
At this point, we have to jump over to our other big story of the week. Let's head on over down south to Davao City, where the search for the fugitive preacher Apollo Quiboloy is on its 7th day, almost 8th day in just a few more hours. Let's bring in Brigadier General Rodrigo Augustus Alba. He is the PNP Director for Police Community Relations and also the spokesperson of Special Task Force Group Tecnon Alpha. Sir Alba, magandang gabi po. Maraming salamat po sa pagpapaunlak.
Maraming salamat, Shawn, Risa, and Tao, and sa inyong viewers. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, first off, sir, linawin lang muna natin, kayo na po ba ang official spokesperson? Since when po?
Yeah, I assumed the post 3 days ago, but we have our own local spokesperson here that deals with the local media nandito po sa Davao City, and I take care of dito po sa atin sa national level, along with the PNP spokesperson.
Okay, so sa ngayon, what can you tell us about the Special Task Force Group? Kailan po ito nabuo? Mag-8 days na po tayo sa search natin for Apollo Quiboloy. Ano po yung plano nitong bagong task force? At ano po yung pangako? Paano po mapapabilis ang operasyon?
Yes, this was created. This group was created for a very special and common purpose, and that is to bring to court yung fugitive si Pastor Kibuloy and 4 others. So this is a composite membership from the different PNP units, not only Police Regional Office 11, augmented by other regions, and specialized units of the Philippine National Police. So as of today, we are still on continuing our operation. Although we are now limited to specific spaces, kasi po as per our spokesperson, and nakuha din natin information that more or less we are on the 50% mark sa pagkakandak po natin ng search. At tuloy-tuloy lang po itong ating ginagawa sa ngayon.
Okay, so kung 50% mark na po tayo, General, kailan po nating inaasahan matatapos ito? Have you guys established kahit po a loose timeline kung kailan po na itong tatapusin, finished or not finished, or matatapos lang ba yung operasyon sa loob ng KJC Compound pag nahanap na talaga si Kibuloy? Pero paano po, General, kung wala siya doon?
Well, tingnan muna natin yung, we do not impose timeline on this. Because the prerogative lies that sa ating task force commander. The determination of the operation lies sa recommendation ng ating task force commander. And tuloy-tuloy lang po, matapos man ito, hindi, we will continue hunting sa ating mga fugitives. Yun po ang commitment ng ating Philippine National Police.
Okay, sir, in terms of developments po on the ground, what have you found out so far? As we mentioned, this is the 7th day of the search operations. How confident are you na si Pastor Apollo Kibuloy ay nagtatago pa rin underground ng KJC Compound? And sa kanya po ba talaga yung heartbeat na nadedetect dyan po sa compound na yan?
The task force commander is still confident as of today at saka mga officers that they're still relying sa intelligence information that suggests yung kanilang mga hinahabol ay positive pa rin po sa area. Now, as to the real identity kung sino pong nandoon, still on the process of the investigation. That's why we are being aided by human intelligence and lahat ng mga aparatus na ginagamit po ng na ating task force, that we cannot specifically divulge yung mga specific details ng technical equipment na ginagamit po nila.
Fair enough po yan General Alba. Pero ako kasi matagal ko na itong gustong itanong Sigurado po ba tayo human po yung heartbeat? Baka naman po burrowing animals lang like possible na daga or ahas or something. Anything else that has a heartbeat. Meron po bang specific level yung human heartbeat na sigurado po tayo based dun sa ating technology, sa equipment, na talagang galing po sa tao yung mga heartbeat na iyon?
Well, as what Duterte is saying, ito pong equipment, one of its dedication is to detect heartbeat, human heartbeats. So doon po nagre-rely yung ating information sa ngayon, and we're giving it to the task force commander to really reach its objective na talaga makuha niya yung hinahabol natin.
Okay. General, as of the moment, ilan po ang puwersa ng kapulisan that are in the area? The ones that are searching and the ones that are also outside, making sure that there is peace and order.
Dagdagan ko lang, General, yung tanong ni Risa, kasi nagpasok po kayo nung isang araw ng additional forces, additional manpower from 3 regions in Mindanao, namely Northern Mindanao, Soxcargen, at saka po sa Caraga. Tinanong ko na po ito nung araw na yun kay Interior Secretary Abalos, pero hindi niya ako mabigyan ng numero. At this point, it's been a few days, meron na po ba tayong head count?
Yes, the report that is coming in from the task force commander ay fluid yung number natin na 2,000. Perhaps dito nagre-rely ang kanyang deployment sa risk and threat assessment. Of course, wala naman po tayong sinasabing threat as of the moment na namomonitor natin, except that we need forces to maintain yung possible civil disturbance, yung ating mga arresting officers, yung ating specialized unit. More or less, this is the number that we're deploying right now, and this is fluid, and we have to time to time replace them kasi kailangan nila magpahinga. But more or less, ito yung number na on the ground, both inside and outside of the compound.
Okay, General, yesterday the PNP and the DILG released videos na may nahanap na mga secret tunnels or secret hallways, rooms,
Basement, parang
basement,
ganon, oo.
yes. And pero according daw po sa KOJC, tinitirhan ito ng mga KOJC members. It's not sex lair as they call it. What's your reaction to this, sir? Ano yung latest development on that? And do you think you're getting closer to where Pastor Quiboloy is at?
Well, it is still subject for the investigation. So, mag-antay na lang po tayo ng result, no? As far as that documentation presented by our SLB is concerned.
Okay, linawin lang din natin ito, Brigadier General, because there have been reports and truly I've seen some of them, informal ones, sa may social media, may mga videos, may mga Facebook Live po mula sa mga miyembro, supposedly, na meron na nga daw pong mga SWAT team na nakapasok sa loob ng compound. May katotohanan po ba ito? At ano po ang kanilang ginagawa doon?
Yung ating deployment is very complex, ma'am, no? Kasi yung component po natin hindi lang po unarmed, but there are moments na kailangan natin ng armed component na ating PNP. Like for example, yung ating civil disturbance management, yung ating mga investigators, yung ating mga searchers, they don't need firearm for that. However, when situation calls for it, mayroon pa tayong standby na yung sinabi po ninyo, yung mga special weapons and tactics. These are specialized units ready to react, not only to extend assistance sa ating personnel, but including the residents o yung KJC members living within the compound.
Okay, there was also, of course, ang dami na pong nangyari in the past 7 days, General. One issue that is coming to the fore, at kaya nga po nagkaroon din ng temporary protection order mula sa korte dyan sa Davao, ay yung konsiderasyon po sa araw-araw na pamumuhay sa loob, pati na rin doon sa mga estudyante sa Jose Maria College within the compound. At this point, it's day 7. Kumbaga, humupa na ba ang tensyon? Nagkaroon na ba tayo ng sort of sistema para po hindi maantala yung araw-araw na pamumuhay ng mga tao sa loob?
Unang-una, we respect yung right to free education. As far as today is concerned, until today, manageable na po yung ating situation, very normal. What we can only say is the PNP would like to appeal na there are some inconvenience as a result of the process in the implementation of the warrants of arrest. And we commit sa the part of the PNP that this will return to normal once we terminate the operation. Meaning to say, we come to a conclusion na mayroon tayong significant result sa ginagawa natin dito sa KJC Compound.
Okay, sir, in terms of communication lines with the KOJC, nag-improve na po ba to now that it's been 7 days? We do know at the beginning, grabe po yung tension. There was also resistance from the side of KOJC. Understandably, as Shawn mentioned, naantala kasi yung daily lives nila and they felt really protective of their property, of their compound. So, but now, mas okay na po ba yung komunikasyon sa pagitan ng mga pulis, mga autoridad at ng KOJC?
Yes, as we observe, in fact, maganda yung relasyon ng ating KJC members, even yung deployed officers sa loob. I'm talking about coordination, open line communication. We are always open po sa communication channels to ensure smooth and cooperative interaction. Of course, ang goal naman po natin is to ensure na lahat ng parties are informed at any actions taken are understood and supported within the legal framework.
General, what are the other challenges presented to the team of policemen na naghahanap po kay Pastor Apollo Quiboloy? We know it's a 30-hectare property, napakadaming iba't ibang mga structures, establishments, pwedeng palipat-lipat siya if he's really there. Ano pa yung mga iba pong challenges na nararanasan dyan?
Yes, aside po sa sinabi ninyo, ma'am, of course, yung resistance na still na-encounter na ating men on the ground. But of course, this will not deter us. Panginaan tayo na hindi po namin ipagpatuloy yung aming mission.
Okay, General, linawin lang din natin itong isang issue kasi supposedly may mga nakita daw mga kapulisan bandang Barangay Tamayong. That's sa may Prayer Mountain naman, another property that is owned by the KOJC. We sent our reporter there earlier, si Mary Mon Reyes. Sabi niya may nakita, ang sabi lang daw ng members, doon po sa isang main gate na kung nasaan siya ay meron daw mga nagro-roving lang. Ang tanong ko, General, is after the main compound in Buhangin, may plano po ba na salakayin din or pasukan yung ibang mga property na pag-aari rin ng KOJC?
As of the moment, hindi ko po specifically nakita information, yung video or pictures na sinasabi po ninyo. But I just want to emphasize that a warrant of arrest issued by proper court can be implemented anywhere within the country, no? And law enforcement officers, may authority po tayo to arrest the subjects, wherever they may be found. So, ang sinasabi po natin, ang warrant of arrest does not expire. It remains valid until it is served as they called by the court. Klaro po yun. With no fixed deadline for execution, provided the report is submitted to the judge of the issuing court. Yun po ang response natin doon.
So sa madaling salita, Brigadier General, you can actually use the same arrest warrant, for example, to search for the pastor in a different property. It's still valid.
As of now, we can, but as of the moment, we are still focused dito po sa KJC Compound.
Okay. And there's also some concerns right now that regarding the warrant pa rin, no, na arrest warrant lang daw po yung hawak nyo, wala daw pong search warrant. Ano yung posisyon ng kapulisan? Where does the arrest warrant end and where does the search warrant start or vice versa? Ano po yung pagkakaiba? And in your opinion, no, General, hindi po ba tayo nagva-violate ng any other law sa nagyayari pong search for Pastor Quiboloy?
Una-una po, we were given the mandate with the court to serve a warrant of arrest. And this implementation involves a process. And one of the processes is the searching. No? If it needed be na kailangan nating mag-intrude sa walls, sa buildings, if this intelligence information suggests na kailangan nating gawin, ay gawin po natin yon. At doon po kami, we depend on that, no? Yung provision na ating korte, ng ating batas.
Alright, maraming salamat po, no, para sa oras ninyo ngayong gabi. That was Brigadier General Rodrigo Augustus Alba, PNP Director for Police Community Relations. Maraming salamat, General.
Now, in related news, Vice President Sara Duterte visited the family of a deceased member of KOJC. Here are photos of the Vice President at Edwin Cababat's wake, the individual who passed away after suffering a heart attack during the standoff between PNP and KOJC supporters. No other details were given about VP Sara's visit. According to PNP spokesperson Colonel Jean Fajardo, the PNP personnel who entered the KOJC compound did not in any way engage with the person who died. They also found out that this person has been camped out with other KOJC members for days and probably had no sleep at all for 4 straight days. Fajardo added that the PNP medical team was ready to assist during the incident but were refused entry by the members of the KOJC. Nonetheless, former President Rodrigo Duterte and VP Sara condemned the PNP's raid, describing the incident as a tragic and a blatant violation of constitutional rights. We're going to take a quick break, but up next, a current and former senator wants the termination of the national ID supply deal investigated. The details when the big story returns. Keep it here.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Story here on One News. Let's now check in on more developments down in Davao City from the end of our mobile journalist Mary Mon Reyes. Mary Mon has been there for the entire time that the search has been going on. Mary Mon, I heard you were able to visit the other KOJC property in Barangay Tamayong down south. That's the Prayer Mountain, right? Can you confirm it for us? And again, tell us what you saw there.
Yes, actually, it was quite a risk to move away from the KOJC compound kasi we didn't know what to expect once we leave the Speak Garcia National Highway. Anything could happen since ongoing yung saga on the search for Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. But again, we took the liberty of checking in at the Prayer Mountain. This is the supposed the Garden of Eden restored, which is also a property of Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. And it's actually about an hour away from the KOJC compound in Buhangin, Davao. And then during the time when we tried to enter the premises of the prayer garden itself, meron dong barricade, and first thing they asked was syempre hindi pwedeng pumasok. They told us saan kami galing, anong pakay namin during that time. So we explained that we're members of the press. We're here to check in with you guys kasi may reports na lumalabas na sinasabing may presence nga ng pulisya and may picture kasi ito na nilabas, though yet unverified talaga kung saan ba nanggaling, anong araw ba ito naganap, ganyan. So hindi nila tayo hinayaan na makapasok sa loob, pero nadudungaw kasi natin kung gaano nga ba kalayo or kalawak itong Prayer Mountain. Isa lang kasi ito meron pang mas malayo na part nitong compound din na ito. Pero ang nabanggit sa atin ng mga nakausap natin na members ng KOJC na nananatili doon sa lugar na yun is that, number one, their relationship so far during that time ngayon, nung pumunta kami kanina, was peaceful, it was calm, wala naman daw presence of the police. Except lang doon sa mga nakikita nila na nagra-rounds. So, nung tinanong namin when was the last time you saw the police, sabi nila after every few hours may nakikita sila outside the premises. Pero when we asked them, was there a unit or a troop of police who tried to forcibly enter the premises sa kanila mismo, doon sa spot nila, sa gate na yon? Ang sabi naman nila, so far, wala. Since nadadaan naman daw sa proper conversation and communication na hindi nyo pwedeng pasukin itong property na to. And at the same time, it's not yet open. Hindi na siya open for public viewing, for public entry. So far, wala naman daw. Pero yun nga, hindi tayo nahayaan na or hindi tayo nabigyan ng access to enter the premises. And siguro, for another context, before entering or yung pinaka-barangay, there's actually a checkpoint. And syempre may naka-station doon. Tinanong din natin if kayo po ba, yung checkpoint nyo ba dito is related to the ongoing search for Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. And sabi naman hindi po. We're stationed here around the clock just for the security of the barangay or the community doon nga sa area na yon. Tinanong naman natin, sir, may nababanggit kasi sa amin na may nag-rounds daw na police around Prayer Mountain, sabi naman, and Glory Mountain itself. Yung Glory Mountain kasi nasa dulo pa yon, pero we're not able to go doon mismo sa dulo. Pero ang sabi ng nakausap natin sa checkpoint, ma'am, yung police na umiikot or doon sa nakikita nila are supposedly monitoring lang daw for the security of the community. So far, yun yung napuntaan natin doon sa Prayer Mountain. And yun nga lang, syempre, umabot pa rin naman sa kanila yung concern pa rin sa KOJC compound. And they also gathered the news na they're also asking us, ano po ba yung nangyayari na rin sa loob? Totoo na bang may drilling na nagaganap? Nahanap na po ba yung subway or yung basement kung saan nagtatago si Pastor Apollo Kibuloy? And they're deterred to ask for peace na. Tama na raw, ayaw na rin daw talaga nila. Gusto na rin nilang mapayapa. Kasi sila din daw dyan mismo, even if 1 hour away sila from the KOJC compound, yung concern daw nila para sa mga kamag-anak nila, kaibigan nila na nandoon sa KOJC compound sa Buhangin, hindi pa rin daw nawawala.
Okay. Marymon, konting clarification lang. Yung mga barikada na niro-roll natin, na nakikita natin sa video na pinadala mo, yan po ay barikada na sinet up ng mismong mga KOJC members to protect their own gate, kumbaga.
Yes. And they're also checking in if merong mga pupunta doon, they'll identify themselves kung taga KOJC ba sila, doon ba sila nag-reside, even sa loob ba ng Prayer Mountain or doon sa community na malapit sa lugar na ito. Kaya tayo nakita yung van natin, tinanong din tayo kung sino po ba kayo. So, it went through there.
So, parang village guard lang sila. And then, yung nagro-roving naman na police, is that also a normal occurrence? Kasi yung nabanggit mong checkpoint, I mean, may point sila. Sa lahat ng punta ko sa Davao, every time I go around the city, I always pass several checkpoints. So, I think it's kind of a normal thing lang yan down there in Davao. Pero yung roving ba around that area, around that gate of Prayer Mountain, normal ba yun na
yung
happening?
Naging timeline kasi ng answer nila sa tanong natin tungkol dito sa umiikot na police is ang context is during this time na ongoing yung kay Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Hindi rin tayo nabigyan ng sagot kung kailan pa ba nila nasimulan yung pag-o-observe dun sa rumorondang police. And potentially, probably because ngayon kasi heated na yung nangyayari sa pagitan ng panig ng KOJC at saka ng pulisya. Kaya siguro mas napapansin nila yung mga rumorondang pulis. Pero nung nakausap nga natin yung nakastation doon sa checkpoint, sabi nila, nakastation na lang sila doon matagal na. And it's already part of their protocols to roam around the community kasi malaki siya eh. Yung Prayer Mountain pa lang about 8 hectares na siya. I-add pa natin yung residential areas kasi sa kahabaan din nitong barangay, nandun din yung ilang planta ng pinya, planta ng puno ng rambutan, puno ng durian, puno ng mga sagi. So, ganun siya kalawak. Kaya kinakailangan din daw nila na mag-roam around every few hours and they are stationed there 24/7. Pero yung barricade na nakita natin kanina, lahat ng mga nandyan ay, if not KOJC members, they are there for the Prayer Mountain or the community around the Prayer Mountain.
Ilang hectares yung buong property na yan, no? Kasama na dyan yung Glory Mountain nga, like you said, which is further away, Prayer Mountain. Contiguous ba yan? Meaning it's one big property na bulubundukin, of course.
Yes, actually malawak siya eh. Pero hindi na natin nakuha in number yung residential areas na kasama doon. Pero yung Prayer Mountain itself, it's about 8 hectares. Ganun pa lang siya kalawak. Yung lugar pa lang yun, yung property pa lang yun ng KOJC. So if we're going to add a plantation, ilang hektar din yung nadaanan natin bago pa tayo makaabot sa Prayer Mountain. So ganun siya kalawak. And Prayer Mountain is just the beginning of the compound. Meron pa yung Glory Mountain na nasa dulo pa nga. Nabanggit yan sa atin ni News 5 reporter Ate Abril Montalvo. And yun nga lang, hindi kasi natin idiniretso yung pagpunta doon dahil it's just for the safety measure. We're just there to check in with them. And what they mentioned to us was, okay naman daw sila, wala naman daw nagpupumilit. Yun nga lang, hindi na natin sinubukan munang idiretso pa talaga sa dulo sa Glory Mountain.
Okay, Mary Mon, so linawin lang natin, wala namang reports na nakuha ang mga polis na nandyan si Pastor Kibuloy sa Tamayong o dyan sa Prayer Mountain. No? They still believe na nandun siya underground sa KOJC Compound?
Yes, Pauline, they're still focused on the KOJC Compound. Yun nga lang, hindi kasi mawawala ngayon sa conversation na baka minamata rin itong Prayer Mountain dahil nga sa lumabas na litrato na inireport din ng ilang local media, plus yung media rin na kasama rin ng KOJC. So yun yung isa sa pinaka nagiging point of conversation ngayon. May picture na may litrato, ang laman nito ay mga pulisya na nasa loob daw supposedly ng prayer garden. Kaya yun yung isa sa reason natin kung bakit sinilip natin kanina. Pero as far as what our conversation went earlier, okay naman daw sila so far. Yung presence ng mga equipment, kasi tinanong din natin yun, meron po ba dito kayo nakikita na boxes na pinapasok, any weaponry or such? Sabi naman nila, so far wala. Pero that's just one point of entry to the prayer garden. Hindi na kasi tayo nga dumiretso. So our information as of now is just that, kung ano lang yung nakuha natin kanina.
Kumbaga limitado tayo, no, kung saan tayo nakapunta,
Yes.
Mary Mon. Now, I assume gabi na, so nakabalik ka na sa Buhangin, nandiyan ka na ulit sa main compound ng KOJC sa city, correct?
Yes, pero medyo bumalik na tayo papunta dito sa accommodation natin. But
Okay.
we're still monitoring the news naman.
So what happened today? Tell us, dyan naman sa Buhangin, anong nagyari today? Ano yung developments? Can you give us a summary, no? Ang dami kasing umiikot sa social media. May mga Facebook Live na may mga SWAT team members na parang, ewan ko kung ano yung hinuhukay nila doon, na parang may box sa sahig or like some sort of underground pipe. Totoo ba tong videos? They're verified. We just spoke also to Task Force spokesperson, General Alba. Sabi niya meron naman daw talagang SWAT. Although di niya kinonfirm kung ano yung ginawa ng mga SWAT members. Just before this interview with you started, do you have a clearer idea of what went on? Kasi may mga videos sa Pawisoden na yung mga basement, di ba, yung mga may kama sa ilalim na tirahan nila. Do we have any clarity?
It's actually parang a collation of what has been going on since Saturday. Kasi kanina umaga pa lang, as early as 6:30, nandito na tayo sa May Buhangin, sa labas ng KOJC Compound. And around 9 a.m., so far kasi normal pa naman yung nangyayari kung ano yung mga lumipas na araw. We've seen a truck delivering school uniforms. Nung tinanong natin sila, Sir, kumusta ang schooling ngayon sa loob ng KOJC, yung JMC, yung Jose Maria College? Ang sabi nga nila, suspended pa rin ang face-to-face classes, online classes sila ngayon, pero they're still finding it difficult kasi nga hindi pa rin daw makapasok ang mga estudyante at teacher sa paaralan nila mismo kasi nakabarikada rin eh, hindi lang sa katedral. Yung katedral kasi malapit lang ito or katapat nung JMC. So ganun daw yung pinaka-nagiging limitations nila. Around 9 a.m., 9:15, going in 9:30, may dalawang helicopter from the PNP na umikot around the compound. Dalawa yun from the PNP there, so they had their monitoring operations. And hindi naman siya bumaba, hindi siya lumapag sa nakita natin kasi tinutukan naman natin siya. So far, sa pagroronda nito, umalis din naman ito after a few minutes. Yun nga lang, pagkatapos naman ito, may lumabas na isang KOJC member na meron siyang microphone at sinabi niya nga na para daw sa mga media, itong mga impormasyon na nakalap nila sa loob. Ilang minuto lang, nagpasok na naman daw ng isang malaking plastic container na box ang pulisya sa loob na hindi pinadaan sa scanner, hindi pinasilip, and hindi raw nila nakita yung nilalaman nito. Tinanong natin, ano po ba yung nasabi sa inyo ng pulisya? Ang nasabi raw sa kanila, wala. Dire-diretso lang daw itong pinasok. So they're considering the possibility na, number one, baka new equipment na naman daw to use on the ongoing search for Apollo Kibuloy. Kung yung kasama daw ba ito, yung mga grinder, yung mga panghukay, pangbungkal. Number two, ang tinitingnan daw nila baka explosives, hindi daw nila masasabi. Or number three, something daw na baka raw maitanim sa kanila. Yun nga lang, pagkatapos naman ito, may mga nabanggit pa kasi sila na may mga bata hanggang matatanda, civilian silang binihisan daw ng uniforme ng pulisya. And yung ilan dito, pumunta raw sa katedral. Wala raw silang ID na naipresenta, hindi raw nito na-prove na miyembro sila ng pulisya. So yun yung ilan sa mga kine-question ng KOJC kanina umaga, kaya medyo naging maingay ulit yung sitwasyon sa loob ng compound. We're not yet able to have the opportunity ever since yesterday na masilip yung loob ng compound. So we're trusting in doon sa photos and videos na binibigay ng KOJC. And according kasi doon sa legal counsel ng KOJC na si Attorney Torion, yung mga videos na kumakalat na pinapakita yung mga kwarto, yung sinasabing tunnels, yung underground rooms, basements, lahat yan. Mga kwarto lang daw ito ng workers na tinutulugan daw doon. And dito nga nagkaroon nga ng hamunan sa PNP na kung maaari nga raw, members of the media plus the legal counsel of KOJC, mabigyan lang daw na permission para masilip if totoo nga ba itong yung mga lumalabas na videos as what people or reports are claiming, even if they have sources from the PNP. So aside from that, may video din ngayon kasing lumalabas na maririnig yung drilling sounds doon sa may pa-basement ng JMC building. Yun nga lang, hindi kasi naging malinaw din dahil hindi natin nakikita kung ano nga ba yung nangyayari. Ang maririnig lang natin yung drilling sound. So it's somehow cues in na may ongoing talagang drilling o paghuhukay na nangyayari. But then again, specific details or information were not yet relayed to us or given or seen from the side of the police.
So, linaw lang din, Marymon, itong long list na pinadaanan mo, no, these are yung observations kung baga ng mga miyembro sa loob, nilista nila. Ngayon, yes. I'm sure hinahabol niyo yung mga police asking, totoo ba to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are you telling me they haven't actually answered point by point?
Actually, supposedly dapat kanina merong press conference from the side of the police. However, hindi na natin nakita kung natuloy nga ba ito or what. Doon natin din sana tatanungin at i-confirm itong mga naobserbahan ng miyembro sa loob ng compound. Pero as far as we are now, hindi pa tayo nakakakuha ng responses tungkol dito. Pero yun pa lang yung nakikita talaga nating detalye sa kung ano ba ang nangyayari sa loob ng compound. Pero bukod din dito, yun nga lang, sa panic naman din ng PNP, meron din daw silang nakita na explosives, na makeshift na bolos, tsaka mga kutsilyo sa loob ng compound. But then again, hindi pa rin verify talaga muli yung information kung saan nga ba ito nanggaling, kanino ba ito nanggaling. And hanggang doon pa lang din talaga tayo. Pero yun nga, nabanggit din nga ni General Alba, nasa 50% na yung paghahanap nila and they're remaining firm na nasa loob ng compound si Pastor Apollo.
Okay. Last question na lang. Tama ka, no? Yun na nga yung offer na binigay ni Attorney Lito Torion. Nung na-interview namin siya dito sa Big Story kagabi, Marymon, sabi niya, game ako sumama kasi gusto rin daw niya makita yung kung talaga bang may tunnel. Doon yun ang hamon niya sa PNP. So, sa ngayon, no, ang sinabi rin ni Attorney Torion kagabi ay for the past 2 days, hindi daw niya nakausap si General Torre. Parang di na raw siya sinasagot, ganyan. And then today, mukhang may bago na tayong spokesperson, yun nga si Brigadier General Rodrigo Alba, na nakausap natin kanina lang. Mas maayos na ba yung sistema ngayon ng communication lines between KOJC and the PNP, gawa ng mukhang mas may struktura na at sistema?
Yes, kanina rin kasing umaga may isa pang miyembro ng KOJC tayong nakausap. Isa sila sa parang mga media relations ng compound. Nung kinumusta natin, sir, kanina umaga pa to, kinumusta natin, sir, kumusta kaya ngayon? Meron ba tayong update? Nagkakausap na ba ang KOJC at ang pulisya ulit? Ever since mga huling press con na naganap, ang nabanggit sa atin, di pa ma'am, wala pa, hindi namin alam kung ano po yung pinaplano ngayon ng PNP, wala raw silang kaalam-alam. So ngayon, dahil may bago rin tayong spokes na kailangan ng makakuha ng impormasyon tungkol sa search operations, oobserbahan natin kung paano ba nito maaapektuhan yung supposed search operations inside the compound and if magkakaroon ba ng changes sa protocols when it comes to monitoring it through the media, when it comes to relaying information to the public in terms of documentations, videos, photos, and kung ano pa yung mabibigay nila sa ating detalye. Kasi yun yung parang, though we are respecting it since it's part of the tactical operation, it's part of the tactical strategy, medyo nagkakaroon din talaga ng loopholes ngayon when it comes to reporting what's happening inside the compound dahil nga meron tayong nire-respeto na kumbaga parang confidentiality when it comes to strategy. Pero members of the KJC Compound are giving us alerts sa kung ano yung naobserbahan nila sa loob. So we hope na kung ano man ang magiging changes ngayon, it would be for something better and not for something worse.
Oh, fair enough naman no, na talagang mag-demand ng konting transparency when it comes to this. Mary Mon, ang dami pang tanong, so many moving parts, so many questions still up in the air right now. One thing's for sure, aabutin pa kayo ng bukas dyan. So for now, maraming salamat, mobile journalist Mary Mon Reyes. Keep safe again and pahinga na. In other news, the Philippines and Vietnam are on track to sign a key defense agreement with Vietnamese Defense Minister Phan Van Giang in Manila for high-level talks. General Phan paid a courtesy call to President Bongbong Marcos earlier today. His visit follows the joint Coast Guard training between Philippine and Vietnamese forces earlier this month, which was the first of its kind for both countries. These nations also have overlapping claims to the South China Sea. President Bongbong Marcos wrote on his Facebook page, "We have elevated Philippines-Vietnam relations to greater heights with the visit of Vietnam's Defense Minister General Phan Van Giang. We thank Vietnam for supporting the arbitral award. Together, we remain committed to peaceful resolutions, de-escalating tensions, and ensuring that the rule of law and a rules-based international order prevail in our region." Before this, the chief executive met with Permanent Court of Arbitration Secretary General Marjan Chepelak. The two talked about the possibility of coming up with an agreement that will allow the Philippines to host its hearings. At that meeting, President Marcos and the Permanent Court of Arbitration said that the PCA is an important part of the country's foreign policy, considering all the challenges that the Philippines is facing right now. The offer for a host country deal is timely, amid renewed calls for the Philippines to file a second arbitration case against China.
Now on to another story. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has terminated its contract with the supplier of the national ID cards. The BSP, which is in charge of the printing of the national ID, said All Card Incorporated failed to deliver on its obligations under the deal. The central bank said they are negotiating for damages and are looking for a new supplier for the contract. There is currently a 32 million backlog of physical cards for the national ID with printing operations stalled. Before this, Allcard also lost a bid to supply plastic cards for driver's licenses due to delays in its other contracts with government agencies. The BSP adds that the contract is subject of a pending arbitration between BSP and Allcards Inc. in light of the confidentiality of arbitration. The BSP is prohibited from disclosing matters related to the proceedings. Now, for its part, the Philippine Statistics Authority, which is in charge of data collection, said the PSA trusts the assessment and decision of the BSP to terminate its contract with their supplier for the national ID card production. The PSA is taking necessary measures for the continuous issuance of national IDs. Now, the agency adds, "We are affirming our unwavering commitment to delivering a reliable and secure national ID system, ensuring that every registered person will receive their national ID." Now, Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel now wants an inquiry into the matter, citing its impact on the delivery of the national IDs, which has been delayed for quite some time now. For former Senator Ping Lacson, a simple contract termination is not enough. He says there should be sanctions and commensurate damages imposed on those liable for the botched deal.
And you might have heard the suggestion going around recently. Should the EDSA Bus Lane be open to other vehicles during heavy traffic? Well, that question can be traced to late Congressman Richard Gomez, who is now getting backlash for it. In a now deleted Facebook post, Gomez said, 2 hours in EDSA traffic and counting. From Makati, Ayala, nasa SM EDSA pa lang ako up to now. Quezon City ang punta ko. 1 or 2 hours pa ba? He added, ilang bus lang ang gumagamit ng bus lane. Bakit hindi buksan during heavy traffic para mas lumuwag ang traffic? Now, this did not sit well for many, especially those who regularly use the EDSA bus carousel. As we know, private vehicles are not allowed in the EDSA bus lane, and there has been pressure on enforcers to step up apprehensions and ensure no special treatment will be given to anyone.
Well, as we know, deleted na.
Yung post has been deleted, yes. You cannot look for it anymore if you search for it.
But also, we know the internet is forever.
Oh, yeah.
Once you put it up there, it's gonna be forever there. Somebody has saved it already.
That's true.
Someone has saved it. So many people have commented on it. Actually, I don't actually follow Congressman Goma, but nakita ko na marami nag-repost. A lot of people are calling it tone deaf. A lot of people are saying the fact na hindi niya alam kung aling mall sa EDSA, aling SM mall sa EDSA, just goes to show nga daw, hindi niya naiintindihan yung plight ng simpleng tao, ng masa.
Well, I understand the frustration. We've all been stuck. You were.
Yesterday was terrible.
It's been pretty heavy, especially, the weather's been erratic. Suddenly there's like rain, downpour, heavy pour. But to me, to blame it on one lane.
To blame it on one lane, that's not gonna fix it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we could have done it before already if it's gonna solve the problem, but I don't think it will. And maybe he knows that too by now, Congressman Gomez. And
yung pa yun I think coming from a congressman kasi, it makes it sound, a lot of people are saying online, it sounds so entitled, rich people problems, hindi dapat, and of course, transport advocates, meron din silang comment dyan, which is, the roads, the priority should be to move people. The public transport is the priority. So kung binuksan natin yung bus lane, matatraffic buong sambayanan natin.
Even commuters, right? I mean, right now, the EDSA bus lane for the EDSA carousel is a huge convenience for commuters, right? To zip through EDSA from south to north, vice versa. And
you're right, because the suggestion, I believe, was, kung natatraffic kayo, sumakay kayo ng bus sa bus lane kasi walang traffic doon. And that's I think, the solution. To traffic, which of course a lot of people will have so many other things to say about that suggestion, but it is a valid one.
It is a valid one.
It is a Friday night and the traffic is so bad I'm not going out. But before we go, we're trying to end the week on a good note. So first, of course, our para-athletes, but also big congratulations again to the entire One News and One PH team. We would like to thank as well the 12th Makatao Awards for naming Signal as TV Station of the Year. One News and One PH were recognized for media excellence by the PMAP, or the People Management Association of the Philippines. Sorry, I pronounced it wrong. It's PMAP. So the Makatao Awards honors outstanding media bodies and personalities for their contributions in promoting public awareness of effective people management in both the private and public sectors. So guys,
the proud trophy sits here.
It's my first time getting to hold this.
Yes, it's your turn. I held it last night, so now
it made the rounds already here in One News. But it's such an honor, of course, to receive this. In behalf of everyone on One News, One PH Signal TV, we're also proud, right, to be the TV station of the year.
And also, I'm going to repeat this. Regina said this last night, but she's not here now, so I'm just going to repeat it. This is again like not just an inspiration and like a token of gratitude, but it's also kind of, for me, it's something that reminds me that we are here to do our job, what our job is, and okay, as cheesy as it is, it's inspiring to keep on going.
Right. And they see us a lot on camera, but there's a lot more that's going on behind the scenes. So we share this award for those hardworking men and women behind the cameras, from our team, writers, producers, editors, reporters, everybody.
Drivers,
graphic
artists. There's a whole bunch of people behind these walls, outside these doors.
Our makeup artists, lahat. Maraming salamat.
Hairstylist.
Thank you. And we wouldn't have done it without, our audience too. So maraming salamat. And with that, we are wrapping up the show. That's our show tonight.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thank you, good night, and have a great weekend.